A decade ago, I was sitting alone in my kitchen on a quiet Sunday morning, staring at my coffee going cold, wondering where the last 10 years had vanished to. That nagging question hit me hard. Have I really been living, or just getting through the days? It was in that raw moment that I picked up a book that stopped me in my tracks. The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware, a palliative nurse who sat with people at the very end of life, listening to their deepest truths. And the one regret that cut the deepest? I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the one others expected of me. Imagine you are in that same spot right now, scrolling through your feed late at night, heart aching with that familiar pull, days turning into years, and a quiet voice inside whispers, "Is this all there is?" You have pushed through the hustle, the wins, the tired smiles, but something feels off, like you are watching your own life from the sidelines. What if those 10 years you worry about wasting are not about waiting for more time, but about grabbing hold of the moment slipping right past you? Stick with me through this, because we are going to gently unpack why that someday we all chase is holding us back, and how one tiny brave step can shift everything for you. And trust me, the quiet reflection toward the end, it is the part that might just nudge you to reach out or start something today. You will not want to skip it. Let me paint a quick picture for you. It is a rainy Tuesday evening, the kind that makes the world outside feel distant and soft. Meet Sarah, a 32-year-old graphic designer who is always the rock for everyone else, the first to say yes to extra work, the friend who truly listens. On paper, her life shines: a warm apartment in Seattle, a fresh promotion, lazy brunches with her people. But there she sits, tea growing cold, eyes on an empty sketch pad, that empty ache bubbling up again. When was the last time you felt that pull? That whisper asking if you're pouring everything into others while your own spark sits on the shelf? It has been 5 years since Sarah painted just for her, not for a deadline, but because the colors tugged at her heart. She kept saying, "I will start when life calms down, when I feel more steady." But calm never showed up. Days piled on like forgotten to-dos, and suddenly she is staring at her reflection, thinking, who is this woman chasing everyone else's light while hers dims? Sarah's moment is so many of ours, is it not? That inner voice urging, hold on until you're ready, until you feel solid and sure. We cling to this idea that answers will drop in like an easy delivery. But the real nudge comes from something psychologists call the status quo bias, that sneaky comfort in what we know, even when it leaves us hollow. You have felt it too, right? That gentle tug to stay safe in the routine, whispering it is easier than stepping into the unknown, even if the unknown is where your joy hides. In evenings like Sarah's, we catch a glimpse of what it costs, not the crashes, but the quiet drift away from what lights us up. So ask yourself this: what if we leaned into the beautiful mess instead of waiting on the sidelines? Coming up, 3 gentle truths to break that cycle, starting with the myth of someday. It is the unexpected turn that reveals how one hidden habit is dimming your fire even now. Chapter 1: The Illusion of Someday. You know that someday we all dream about? The magical point where stars align, your savings grow, the doubts hush, and suddenly you dive into that passion project or that trip you have imagined. It feels so inviting, does it not? But here's the soft truth that unravels it. Someday is more like a warm fog, wrapping us up and keeping us from the vivid, real pulse of right now. Picture it as that book on your bedside table, half open, story unfolding without you. Experts like Carol Dweck talk about a growth mindset, but you get it in your bones. That waiting for everything to feel perfect just freezes us, turning dreams into echoes instead of steps forward. We whisper to ourselves, I will chase that passion when I'm less worn out, or I will reach out to old friends when the chaos eases. But as Bronnie Ware shared from those bedside stories, the deepest regrets are not about the hard rains we faced, but the bright days we let float away untouched. For Sarah, that someday turned into a quiet shadow over her art, sketches fading under dust. What if we saw it differently? not as some far horizon, but as a small wave you create today, like grabbing a pen for 5 minutes and letting color spill out. Your fullest life is not waiting behind some perfect starting line. It lives in the simple choice to step in, flaws and all. Chapter 2: The Trap of External Validation. Let us ease deeper now into that soft draw we feel toward needing a thumbs up from the world. You recognize it: the pause before you share something real online, the quick yes to invites that leave you drained, all to dodge that sharp edge of someone else's opinion. It is the tangle of people pleasing, where your true value gets knotted up in hearts and nods from afar. It comes from that deep ache to belong, like what attachment ideas from folks like John Bowlby describe. But honestly, it is that inner fear of standing alone that makes us shrink to fit in. We turn down our own shine just to blend. But what if we turned it around? Imagine approval blooming first from your own gentle yes inside. People who lean into that inner nod feel more steady through the storms, with less exhaustion and more of that real, quiet happiness you crave. For you, it could look like a soft no to one more favor that does not light you up, or speaking your heart without that constant what if they judge filter. It is not about being selfish, it is holy ground for your soul, carving out room for bonds that see and lift your whole self. And here's the beautiful part: the ones who matter. They will cheer your light shining full and free. Chapter 3: The Truth About Clarity. It comes from doing. And now, to the core of it all. That clear path you long for? It doesn't unfold in the hush of waiting. It sparks alive when you move. We hold out for those big aha flashes like summer lightning. But as someone like Amy Cuddy points out through her stories of presence, it is the little actions, holding your head high, voicing that quiet idea, that reshape how we carry ourselves inside. True seeing comes not from staring at the road ahead, but from placing one foot after another over the dips and turns. Sarah found her way into this during that rainy stretch, when she simply pulled out her paints on a whim. No blueprint, just a canvas waiting for chaos. Those strokes did not fix it all, but they pried open a window to fresh thoughts, to voices from friends long quiet, to days that felt less rehearsed and more like her own unfolding tale. These are not hard rules, just warm welcomes. What one small move calls to you today. Because when you act, the shadows of what could have been lift, and the now comes into sharp, alive focus. Now, let us breathe here for a moment. Let those truths land soft, like rain easing after thunder. If Sarah's story mirrors back at you, if you see your own hesitations in the glass, know you are held in this. That endless spin of too many thoughts, the doubt murmuring not quite yet, the habit of bending for others at your own quiet cost. These are the soft threads so many of us carry, especially as women walking a path where our worth gets weighed by how much we give away. Whisper this to yourself, kind and slow. If the weight of others' eyes lifted tomorrow, what would your heart pull you toward today? Would it be flipping open that forgotten notebook, dialing the friend whose voice still feels like home, or finally letting that buried idea breathe out loud? These are not thunderous moves. They are the tender uprisings against settling for half a life. And for a real glow of what this looks like lived out, think of Diane Keaton. At 79, she keeps directing films, pouring words onto pages, and stepping into roles that set her spirit alight, just as she opens up in her memoir, Let's Just Say It Was Not Pretty, and those heartfelt talks with the New York Times. She never paused for a golden ticket. She crafted her path by arriving, full of her unique edges. What if the someday you hold is really just borrowed? Stories in places like Psychology Today remind us the loudest what ifs are never I pushed too far, but I pulled back when my soul begged to run. This pause is not a shove forward, it is a soft allowance to hold the possibility of what blooms when you pick being here fully over chasing flawless. If this stirs something in you, share in the comments below. Tell me your one brave step for today. I am here for it, and your story could be the light for someone else's dim hour. Hang on just a bit more. The close ahead weaves it all with a simple heart shift you can hold close. It is that final breath of ease guiding you toward the tomorrow, where you feel truly awake. As we ease to a close, here is my gentle send off. You do not owe the world another 10 years of half measures to uncover your path. You only need the kindness to begin where you stand in all your tangled, radiant now. Joy is not some distant summit to conquer. It is the earth beneath you, fed deep by each step you dare to take. Those echoes from Bronny's listening, they melt away not through sweeping changes, but in the small, sacred yeses you offer yourself. Yes to the ring of that call, the flow of that brush, the words that make your pulse quicken just a touch. Picture the you a decade from now, not grateful for the pauses, but alive with pride for the woman who chose pulse over pause, fire over fade, and for a small practice to tuck into your pocket. Before bed tonight, jot down one thing your heart has kept whispering. Then, with the morning light, set it free. A message sent, a share unhidden, a first mark made. See how the fog clears, not handed down by the clock, but shaped by your own steady hands. If these words brush something soft in you, easing the weight even a little, tap that like and join the circle here so we rise together day by day. Pass this on to the woman near you who could use this echo. Time waits for no one, but we can hold space for each other. To your brave first move, you are ready. Until next time, the life you have led does not need to be the only life you have. Anna Quindlen,